What if I told you that giants once walked among us, working side by side with ordinary men? Picture the sprawling Siberian forests, where the shadows of towering trees shift across a frozen landscape. Amidst the chill, laborers toil tirelessly in logging camps. But wait, look closer. What if the photographs from the late 19th century reveal something more than mere history? What if they depict colossal figures standing 11 feet tall, effortlessly blending into the humdrum of everyday labor? These images, not mere folklore but actual snapshots from the 1880s, challenge everything we thought we knew. In my quest to unravel the secrets of Siberian logging operations, I began with a straightforward objective: examining labor practices in pre-Soviet Russia. What I uncovered, however, was far beyond the neat tables of production quotas. As I sifted through the archives, I stumbled upon photographs that defied logic and perception. Here they were, stark and real, men of impossible scale, standing shoulder to shoulder with regular-sized loggers, their proportions bewildering. The depth of field, the shadows, even the snow patterns, all aligned with precision, dismissing any notion of trickery. The official narrative began to crack as curiosity pulled me deeper into the past. The more I dug, the more I uncovered. Glass plate negatives from Russian imperial archives, prints from French expeditions, each revealing men and women towering over their peers. Some standing a staggering 10 or 11 feet tall amidst the frozen expanse. This wasn't a singular anomaly. Entire crews, multiple giants within a single frame, shared the same space, laboring together. These images, meticulously cataloged, yet barely acknowledged, raised a flood of questions. Why were there so many giants concentrated in Siberian logging camps? Why did their existence peak between 1870 and 1910, only to vanish without a trace? The Dutch logging companies, known for keeping meticulous records, documented these extraordinary individuals as integral members of their teams. They appeared to be valued workers, specifically recruited for heavy labor, not merely curiosities to gawk at. The photographs didn't portray them posing for spectacle. They were captured mid-task, wielding saws, moving logs, blending seamlessly into the fabric of industrial labor. It was as though the giants were just another element of the workforce, so unremarkable that no one thought to comment on their extraordinary stature. As I examined the logging equipment further, the plot thickened. The cross-cut saws, measuring an astonishing 12 to 16 feet in length, stood in stark contrast to their European counterparts. The historical narrative suggested they were designed for Siberia's exceptionally large timber. Yet, it didn't add up. Siberian trees, while sizable, didn't require oversized tools. Unless, of course, the operators themselves were not average in size. The grip spacing on these antique saws was a revelation, spanning 40 to 50 inches, far too wide for an average man to use effectively. Yet, for someone towering 9 feet tall, the mechanics become perfectly ergonomic. And then there were the sleds, enormous timber transport sleds, some still half buried in permafrost, revealed an unsettling truth. These weren't mere tools for moving lumber. They were scaled-up components designed for hauling fresh-cut logs across the harsh, unforgiving landscape. The construction was consistent with standard logging sleds, but exaggerated, suggesting they were built for operators of unusual size and strength. Museums labeled them as ceremonial, overlooking the obvious wear patterns that told a different story: functional equipment tailor-made for giants. Exploring the abandoned logging camps, I encountered architectural anomalies. Doorways looming at 10 to 12 feet high, sleeping platforms, precariously elevated at 36 inches. Eating tables towering far above the reach of average-sized men. These weren't one-off occurrences. They were a recurring theme across various camps. Contemporary records describe them as temporary structures hastily erected, yet they consistently demonstrated oversized proportions. Why would laborers deliberately waste resources constructing oversized shelters unless they were designed for inhabitants of extraordinary height? With each photograph I encountered, the evidence became inescapable. Time after time, I saw work crews lined up, the standard practice to track their workforce. Among them stood giants, not perched on stumps or uneven ground, but steadfast on the same snow-packed earth as their colleagues, their heads towering 3 or 4 feet above ordinary men. The clothing was consistent, the heavy boots and winter coats identical. Nothing distinguished them visually from their co-workers, except for their scale and the sheer size of their hands, which resembled dinner plates, not swollen or deformed, but simply larger than life. This was not a whimsical fantasy nor a sideshow spectacle. These were ordinary workplace photographs documenting logging crews, the visual equivalent of punching a time clock. The giants were simply part of the environment, unremarkable enough that no one felt compelled to explain their presence, as if 9-foot-tall men laboring side by side with their counterparts was the norm. French expedition reports meticulously documented these extraordinary individuals. In 1891, a team surveyed logging operations near the Yanis River, encountering what they described as indigenous workers of remarkable physical development. The language was clinical, matter-of-fact, as though marveling at their height was unnecessary. They were efficient laborers, performing heavy timber work with ease, woven into the very fabric of Siberian industry, a narrative we've overlooked. As I pieced together the fragments of history, I became acutely aware of how easily giants could slip through the cracks of our collective memory. These images, flooded with mundane detail and unembellished truth, hinted at a narrative long buried beneath layers of disbelief. The giants weren't just myth, they were an integral part of our history, a testament to the extraordinary within the ordinary. So, what happened to these giants? Where did they go? The truth remains cloaked in shadows, preserved in photographs and abandoned camps, whispering secrets of a time when the extraordinary mingled with the everyday. Their legacy, however, persists in the echoes of Siberian forests, urging us to question what we think we know and to seek the extraordinary hidden within our histories. Join me on this journey of discovery. Let's delve deeper into the past, unravel the enigma of the giants, and unveil the astonishing truths hidden within the pages of history. Subscribe, share, and let's explore the shadows of our world together, because sometimes the past has giants waiting to be uncovered.